Why do you think that President Obama was so aggressive in pursuing leak cases?
That's a great question. I've tried to understand that for a long time, and I think that, first of all, I just don't think he liked the press. I don't think he was ever. I think he felt that the press just got in the way of what he wanted to do, much like a lot of other, politicians do. But I also think that he came into the White House being, in reality, much different from the kind of brand that he had used during the campaign in 2008. He had this hope and change brand, which was very effective at the time. But I think he was a much more conservative figure than people ever gave him, either blamed him for or gave him credit for. I think he was, his policies on national security were largely a continuation of the Bush administration policies. People say, well, conservatives say, well, he should have stayed in Iraq longer. But he stayed in Iraq as long as the Bush administration's policies had called for. And he, apart from ending a few policies of the Bush administration, he kept most of them. And he expanded dramatically the domestic spying program that Bush had begun.
The domestic spying program. I just want to underscore, James, maybe you've interrupting, important to know, the domestic, that is, spying on Americans.
Yes. And so he was not this liberal, I don't believe he was this liberal icon that people wanted him, to be. On some issues, sure, but on national security, I think he was a hawk generally. And I think we now look back and you see that, there's some differences between him and Republican presidents like Bush or Trump, but not to any great degree. And I think also he was deeply angered by, first by Chelsea Manning and the WikiLeaks, and then later by Edward Snowden and the mass leaks that took place. And I think that really led the Obama administration to have a zero-tolerance approach to all leaks, which was a huge mistake on their part.